Welcome to Forced Conversations, Episode 4, hosted by myself, Mike, and my co-host, Andre. Andre, what do you want to talk about today?
Today we got some news. This week we had some actual news, not nothing, basically. Last week we had nothing. That's why we had a special guest. Let's just jump right into it. I saw that John Boyega has 3 rules about coming back to Star Wars. He said that he believed in the bromance between him and Poe Dameron. So him and his boy need to be reconnected. That's one, okay? Obviously, you need a good script, is what he said, as well. And
so basically, he's out. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, let's be real here. And he would also need Chewbacca. I'm probably going to slaughter this pronunciation of his... I'm just going to say his first name because I'm just going to slaughter it. Junas? I don't know. I'm slaughtering it. I know.
The person that played Chewbacca. Gotcha.
That was really, really blurry.
Yeah.
So, basically, you need the big 3 of the new trilogy, minus Rey, obviously. But you need the main 3 guys. Well, yeah. Well, let's be real here.
We already talked about
He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
We already found that out.
No, nobody's ever really gone except for Ben Solo. Anyway, continue.
Except for Ben Solo. Except for Ben Solo. Okay, so how do you feel about John Boyega coming back? Because, I mean, he did get kind of gypped with The Force Awakens propping him up to be a Jedi.
I overall don't have a problem with this character. And I think the growth that you see and the change that you see in him going from a bad guy in the first movie to like having that immediate like change of heart in that first movie, fleeing and joining, the resistance and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. I like his character. I like Poe's character. I mean, Chewbacca, I'm never gonna have a problem with him.
Never.
He's always gonna be a character. None of them were my favorite characters from the new series.
The new trilogy.
Yeah, but I don't have an issue with any of them, and I think I mean, to be honest with you, I'm gonna go on his side a little bit and say it does kind of make sense that if you're going to make a movie about him or with him in it, you kind of would have to have Poe. You definitely would have to have Chewbacca, and honestly, I don't know how you could do it without having Rey either. Like, I feel like those characters are all intertwined in some way, and maybe they're intertwined because of the Rey and Finn and Chewbacca connection, right? Like, I think Poe is in it because of their whole escape thing and everything like that, but I think I mean, it makes sense. I get what he's saying. I mean, the good script thing, man, that's difficult. Good script according to who?
Yeah. I mean, it's subjective, but I mean, the sequel trilogy is only 4 years. I had to Google that really quick. It's only 4 years, so I mean, how many friends is he really making in 4 years that are outside of the rebellion? I mean, you went through life and death scenarios with these 3 other people, like mainly, and then let's throw Rose in, 4 other people. You went through these life and death scenarios. You've got to have at least the big 3 guys.
What about Poe's? Didn't Poe have like an ex-girlfriend in one of the movies? The lady with the Rocketeer helmet. I'm forgetting her name.
That was Poe. That was Z.
That was like Poe's ex-girlfriend or something, right?
Yeah.
And she had like the Rocketeer remake helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, I'd be excited for them to come back, but It'd be fun. It'd be a fun movie. I enjoy all the Star Wars so far that has been put out, except for the Clone Wars movie. I mean,
Man, I think we're gonna rehash it a little bit, but you could also, if you did like that Hunt for Ben Solo type movie, you could also have them be in it, kind of like the people that are trying to talk Rey out of searching for him and stuff like that, or reconnecting with him or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna make a movie with just them, like I guess I need to know more information, because like if you're gonna make a movie, I don't know how popular that movie would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be. I just question making that a movie. I could see it maybe being more like a like Falcon and Winter Soldier series that Disney did for like the two characters who in Captain America, they weren't the number one characters, right? But you take Captain America out of the series and you give them their little like series run, 4, 6, 8 episodes, whatever you want to do. I think that might make more sense than like a full movie, unless something comes out that like absolutely blows me away. I'm like, oh man, that'd be kind of cool, right? Like I personally don't know what you would do with just them.
Yeah.
Like the three of
I
them.
mean, so far we haven't had any rumors that I've seen of there being a movie where John Boyega's coming back. I think he's just saying that if he were to come back, these are the 3 things that I need, and I hope he does come back, because I mean, no one from the sequels deserved any of the hate that they got, obviously, but I think Finn was a really interesting character. However, I do want to see a stormtrooper that is like dedicated. You know, I want to see a stormtrooper that thinks he's doing good, and I want to follow that stormtrooper. I don't want to see a stormtrooper and be like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely the bad guys, so I'm gonna leave." You know, I want to see the justification.
I think that would be interesting too, though. Like if we go back to like the Finn thing, like I want to know what made him go, "Hey yo, I am down to be part of this group." Like this Kylo Ren dude, I know he seems kind of bad, but like I think he's kind of cool. So let me jump on their squad. Oh wait. They're not the good guys. I don't feel comfortable with. Like,
we're lighting people on fire. Like
yeah. What was proposed to him before he joined? Like or were they still like taking people?
Okay. He was like, there's a picture of him in I want to say in The Force Awakens, where he's like 8 years old, and it's like his ID picture for the First Order.
So I'm gonna say it like this. So in no part of the Star Wars universe do we have a character like the movie Taken, where their kid gets taken and they're like, I'm gonna stop at nothing to get them back. Like we have nothing that shows, like Finn's parents, where they just like, but I mean, they took our kid. I guess we just gotta let them have him.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it is like I don't know. Maybe it's a situation where they are down on their luck areas, like a poverty-stricken planet,
their kids,
where they're like, "Here, take my child."
I think that'd be interesting to see. Like, not have an entire movie about that, but have that be part of a storyline.
Just like 2 seconds.
Maybe if you made a movie about Finn, Poe, and Chewbacca, trying to make sure, it would almost have to be before the end of the movies. It would have to be like another like Solo type movie or Rogue One movie that takes place like in between some of the movies, where like they are going and trying to like help areas where, you know, the new Empire, the new bad guys, whomever's doing it, like they're going in and trying to stop them from taking more kids, right? Like I guess if you make a movie about that, because then you can kind of touch on like Finn's background, how he was taken, and what they're doing in all those scenarios, like to take them, right, and how they are trying to stop them from doing it. But I mean, I guess you could do something like that and throw that in there, and maybe make that like an in between movie. I mean, that would maybe be kind of interesting, or series. like a Disney Plus series type deal.
I mean, we're only gonna have to wait to see what happens. You know, I'm excited to see what new movies are coming out in the future. But next, we have the screen used Boba Fett blaster on auction, used by Jeremy Bullock himself. Okay, I have my 3D printed one right here. Okay.
Okay.
This one cost me $10 to make.
How much does that one cost to buy?
How much does this one cost to buy? Right now, we are at current bid is 200,000 euros. 200,000.
Yeah, I think you should definitely look at finding a way to buy that.
It's estimated to be 350 to 700,000 euros. So it's more dollars. The starting bid in USD was $202,000. There's no way I am buying this thing.
Yeah, I mean you'd have to win the lottery first, and then you could look at it.
I'd have to sell this
that'd be like
house.
another one of those things where it'd be like if I won the lottery, I might not tell people, but you could probably tell by the things that.
But
I'm doing.
you would see
Andre
a
would be
screen
like,
used Boba Fett blaster in my house.
Andre would be like, Andre, you what are you building in your backyard? It's like a new slave one, or I'm sorry, Boba Fett's shit.
You would see one specific room filled with lasers and, just all these different countermeasures for people to not get in,
This room is my Millennium Falcon cockpit. The room next door is my TIE Fighter cockpit. Yeah, makes sense.
I'd have to sell my house, my parents' house, my brother's house, just to afford this thing.
That's crazy.
Plus some.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I mean, it's cool that people can buy that type of stuff, but that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when I was at Celebration in 2017, I saw one of the, two known prototype Boba Fett action figures. Like the original, rocket firing ones, okay? You would collect all of the original 12 figures, and then you'd cut the UPC codes and mail them out, okay? And then Lucasfilm would send, or Hasbro, Kenner at the time, would send you this Boba Fett figure, just in a little plastic bag. In it, rocket would fire and everything. Well, they botched the idea. They said, nuh-uh. They stopped it. And because they were afraid of the choking hazard of the rocket. Now there's
I can see you shooting yourself in the face with that.
Yeah, honestly.
Probably.
So I saw one of two known prototypes. And at that current time, I want to say it was like $360,000 to buy that 3 3/4 inch figure. That's ridiculous.
Crazy. That's crazy, for sure.
That's ridiculous. Okay, there's some new pictures of the Mando movie. The new cantina looks pretty sweet to me. I'm so excited for this movie.
I am too. I am, for sure.
You just got real loud. That was weird. I don't see any big Easter eggs in this shot, though. I wish they would have added something to, wet the whistle a little bit. What is... Actually, you know what? In the left corner area, what is that thing? It looks like it's in a cage.
It looks like some kind of fuzzy creature. Like black...
Like a green
black
fuzzy...
and white fuzzy. I mean, it could be dark green.
Like a green
it's a
hue
dark color on the
it.
inside, and then like a white fuzziness coming off of it. Yeah.
I wonder what that's gonna be about. Okay, so the next piece of news that I have, one of the designers for the Rebel series, or one of the producers for the Rebel series, the writers, is complaining about Sabine Wren being made into a Jedi in the Ahsoka series. Henry Gilroy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the
he
reason?
said that. He just said that she was never meant to. I mean, yeah, she did wield the Darksaber at one point. I hate that I'm spoiling this for you now that I think about it, because you still haven't seen that movie. But God, now I feel like a jerk, Mike. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
all right. It's all right. So yeah,
He
I mean,
just doesn't believe she should have become a Jedi. That's pretty much all that was part of this. It was absolutely not the plan. We really felt that not only did it step on Ezra's story, but it was a weak retread. We already did this, is what the quote said.
What does he mean? We already did this. If he thinks that she shouldn't be a Jedi, then how did they already do that? Like, is he talking about a different character?
I think we're talking about Ezra being a Jedi in this specific series. Like, we already have found the Jedi in that series, you know? Even though we had 10,000 in the Clone Wars Jedi, you know, whatever. But, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's not a Mandalorian, though, right?
Who?
Ezra.
No, he's just a Jedi.
Right, so it's different. Because there really aren't Mandalorian Jedi. There was like one or something, right?
One.
Like
Yep.
in history.
Well, now there's two.
So I think that I mean, I don't, dude. Yeah, that's whatever. Like I think people sometimes get a little too uppity on being hurt
this is
about
one
Star
of the
Wars
writers.
stuff. I know that, but like,
Here's another
if
quote.
I could.
The idea of Sabine training as a Jedi when she is already this fantastic warrior of her own type, we felt like this is overkill.
I mean, I think that it kind of plays into the whole thing of, we talked about this before, like even about like back to like Han and stuff like that, and I think that what it looks to me like they're doing is that everybody that you see that has some kind of special ability, whether it's, you know, being able to read a battle, like if you're looking at like Boba Fett or like the Mandalorian, like when they get into a lot of the fights that they get into, like they don't just luck out all the time. They do stuff that is very strategic and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you look at Han, like the reason he was such a great smuggler wasn't because he just got lucky smuggling all the time, right? So if you go from that, then it would be like the thing where you're saying the Force is in and through everything, right? Like the Force can affect everything. Some people, through training, can learn to focus on that a little bit more and learn that more, right? Like versus
Yep.
like, hey, you have to be born a certain way. Now, I do think like if you're born with, let's go back to the midichlorians thing. If you're born with a higher midichlorian count, maybe it's easier, like Yoda having a super high, maybe it's easier for you to achieve that potential. And somebody like Sabine, like when we watched the Ahsoka show, clearly she struggles with a lot of Jedi stuff, right? Like it's just, it doesn't come natural to her. She's got to really work harder at it than somebody like, let's say Luke, who we saw in 4 when Obi-Wan's like, hey, do this, and he starts being able to do little things here and there, right?
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind, like, I don't even mind the whole broom boy thing, like some little kid who's in a whatever, moving a broom with the Force.
Right.
I think you give that potential to everybody, and maybe people are maybe people are able to use the Force in ways that they don't perceive as using the Force, like your Hans, like your Mandalorians. Maybe it's like just a different way of the Force helping to influence things. But not being like
the
full
Order
Jedi.
66. Order 66 happens, and no one else can be a Jedi anymore or Force sensitive anymore. Like, you've got to have some people born with the Force ability, at least high metachlorian counts. Broom Boy is a perfect example. You've got to have some people that are born after Revenge of the Sith.
I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this with your knowledge. Could somebody that goes into Jedi training flunk out?
I mean, I'm sure. I don't.
So then, even though you have a high midichlorian count, or a what you would say maybe like a Jedi level midichlorian count, doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically going to be a Jedi. Or whatever. Because
I think it was hinted that Chimere from the Acolyte actually flunked out or left the Order. I hear more about leaving the Order than anything, because there's not too much about younglings. Like, there's the Star Wars Younglings show, but that's I haven't seen that yet. It's geared more towards children. Like, people say Clone Wars is a kids show, which it is, but like these are like kids.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And we only have a few arcs in the Clone Wars where there are actually kids, like younglings. So we don't really have a lot of information on that.
I guess maybe I'll finish my take with the whole Sabine Wren thing like this. If we get to the payoff as to why they're trying to have her learn the Force and become a Jedi, and the payoff is really lazy and not good, then maybe I would kind of agree with the guy. If there is if there's a payoff coming that they're writing, and there's a reason why she's going through this that's going to mean something, whether it's even like moderately good or something really good, then maybe I'll look at his comment and be like, yeah, I don't care. He can feel that way. I didn't have a problem with it because I think it added something to the show in season 1 that I didn't mind. And kind of gave that dynamic as to like why, like they had a definitive reason as to why the two of them weren't together anymore, right? Like they had a falling out because of her training. It wasn't because of like, hey, like we just didn't want to hang out anymore, right? Like there's something that happened, right? Yeah. So I'm okay with it.
I'm really excited for you to get through Clone Wars and be able to start Rebels, because I mean both series are so good. The end of both had me tearing up, you know. Every time I watch it, I tear up a little. Every time I watch them, I tear up a little bit. Every rewatch. I get to the end and I'm like, man, it's crazy. That's all that I have for news itself.
Okay.
So, unless you have anything to add, we can move on to our gripes about Star Wars, the Star Wars community, Star Wars as a whole.
I think we don't have to get super deep into it because we just had a whole episode on the Acolyte, but I think something did come out about the director of the Acolyte show making a comment about like she felt like YouTubers and people that make content about Star Wars were kind of the reason behind the show getting canceled. And I mean, to her defense, a little bit, I can see that, but you didn't do yourself any favors at the same time. Like, I don't think the show was bad, but there was enough bad stuff in the show that I could see people having a problem with it. There were some acting things, there were some character things.
That mixed with the bad like publicity and interviews from the actors themselves. Yeah,
so like I get it. I don't think what she's saying is entirely wrong, but I don't think like Obi-Wan didn't get canceled, and I don't think everybody loved Obi-Wan. I really liked Obi-Wan, but I don't think Obi-Wan was universally like everybody was like, this show is great, right? Obi-Wan didn't get canceled because even though there were things that people didn't like in it, overall it touched on a lot of stuff that people were still really interested in, like the whole Darth Vader in Obi-Wan thing. It touched on some stuff that people wanted to see, whether they liked the way they showed it or not, and everything like that. Like, the Acolyte did some stuff that really kind of caused a divide between people that, you know, like me, who I'm all for, like, I want new Star Wars stuff. If there's new Star Wars stuff, like, just do it well is the only thing I ask for. But when you're trying to push stuff or whatever, I can see people being irritated about it because that's not what they're watching Star Wars for, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I think that goes into a little bit of my gripe too. I think that, like, man, like, I think one of the reasons that we kind of wanted to do this podcast is we wanted to be able to, like, have a gripe about stuff, but we didn't want our gripes to be like the type of things where we're like, oh, we're so mad, Star Wars is trash, Disney is trash, everything that Star Wars is doing is trash, I hate Star Wars. Yeah, like, we don't want to be like that. Like, I think it's okay to constructively criticize stuff or ask questions about stuff and say, hey, I didn't understand this. But to go to that extreme of being like, oh, Star Wars is trash, not that this happened. Like, okay, like, let's sit down a little bit.
I just want to have a drink and talk about what I think about 100% of the time throughout my life. So, like...
100% of the time. Ooh, I can't.
Yeah.
There's other things I think about besides Star Wars. But yeah, no. I get you.
I don't know. Since we started this podcast, I have felt myself so distracted that I'm, like, constantly thinking about, like, what we can do.
What do we talk about next?
What do we talk about
Okay,
next? Okay,
so...
My gripe.
Yes. Go ahead.
The bombers in The Last Jedi. Not specifically the bombers. I want to talk about...
I was going to say...
I want to talk
the
about
bombers.
the people that say they don't make sense.
Okay.
The scene was rough, okay? I mean,
let's be honest, too. Like, the ships are kind of dumb looking.
Yeah. They are weak as can be. They're weak as can be. But to be fair, I mean, I know it's a show about movie show. It's a series about fantastical things, you know, like they're space wizards and all that. But I want it to somewhat have some base in reality. You know, yes. I want, like, the bombers. I want to think about, like, the World War II bombers, you know, how they're just getting shredded. You know, a bullet will just go straight through it, you know. But you'd think also that they'd beef them up just a little bit. You know, I feel like other ships can just tank bullets or lasers, whatever. And I feel like those bombers just were like, boom. He got hit like just a pin needle, just boom, you know?
But no, that wasn't it though, right? Like, didn't something hit it?
This isn't my gripe. This isn't my gripe, to be fair.
No, I know, but I'm saying to go with what you're saying though, like, didn't one of them get hit in the Bomb Bay area and it started blowing up and hit the other ship and then blew up? Yeah. I don't think it was like paper. It was, I mean, they definitely were more susceptible. Not arguing that. But I don't think anything, it was like, oh, a TIE fighter flew by and was like, boo! And it was like, oh, the whole ship blew up. I think there was a chain reaction of events.
The TIE pilot rolled down his window and just went, bing, with his pistol.
Sideways.
It just exploded. Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay, anyways,
we watched that today. I should have. My thing is the bombs. The bombs make complete sense to me.
Why do I not remember them having freaking, like, writing?
Because it happens so fast. It happens so fast, and I think we also see the she's kicking the ladder trying to get that remote to fall, and then it falls past her, and then she's like looking like this. She's looking like this as it falls past her, and then somehow she completely flips over and grabs it. Like, how does that work? I can't move that fast, okay? I like to think I've got some good reflexes. I can't move that fast.
Okay.
But that's not still gripe, not my gripe.
Okay.
My gripe.
Your gripe
is that people complain that, oh, bombs don't fall in space because there's no gravity, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't make sense. Then tell me, how are people walking around in the ship, first of all? Because there's artificial gravity, right?
Yep.
There's more than likely a artificial gravity generator. Something along those lines.
In all ships.
In all ships.
Because even when you're looking at, like, an X-Wing, It's not like you're seeing like stuff floating up, like that's in the X-wing with them,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, Luke's flying his X-wing. Oh, my lightsaber. Let me grab that and bring that back down here." Or Mandalorian when Grogu's playing with the little ball thing. It's not like he drops it and it doesn't hit the floor. Like you know what I mean? There's got to be some kind of gravity for sure.
So you have these bombs falling out of they're falling in an artificial gravity generated area out
Yep.
of a, let's say, a shield, you know, because
Yep.
there's got to be a shield
To
separating
keep the oxygen
artificial
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be a shield. So they're falling out of the shield, and the momentum just keeps it going. It's so
I would think
easy
that
to
once they get into like once they leave gravity and get into space, they would continue the momentum that they had before
before
they
entering.
yeah. I mean that would make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't understand
Because
why
if
that,
if
how
you
that's a
didn't
gripe
if you didn't believe
about.
that if you didn't believe that, then my question would be like, if your argument is I'm dropping something from a ship that weighs an amount, I don't, however much they weigh, I don't, 10 pounds, 100 pounds each, who knows,
Yeah.
but they weigh an amount, right? And you're dropping them straight down, and so they just continue to float straight down after they're dropped. If you have such a problem with that, then my question is that you should look at all ships in Star Wars and say, after they turn their thrusters off, they shouldn't continue in a straight line. Like the ship should go, thrusters off.
Or
And just like turn every direction because, you know, there is no gravity and that's not how it works in space. Like,
or you
that
should
just
have an
doesn't make
issue with
sense.
after a Star Destroyer gets disabled. How is it sinking? How does it look like it's sinking?
Right.
If you've got issues with the bombs, you should have bigger issues with Star Wars as a whole.
Oh, yeah. All over the place.
Yeah. It's people nitpicking the Star Wars that they don't like and saying that this is the reason.
Yeah, but this is such a minor reason. Like, I get if you say, like, oh, like, I didn't like how they projected Luke halfway across the galaxy in Episode 8, and because he projected himself, he ended up dying and disappearing. That's a legitimate gripe. Like, you have a main character who, like, you want to see more out of, and that happens. Like, don't get me wrong, Force projecting himself across the galaxy, that's a pretty freaking crazy thing to do. But to just have him, like just not exist anymore after that, like, it just seems like if Leia can pull herself out from being, like, dying in space, but Luke can't survive that, like, yeah, I get that being a gripe. Like, the way a bomb drops out of a gravity-filled ship through a barrier out into space and continues the momentum, like, that's the reason you don't like Star Wars?
Yeah. Like, it just...
Like, to me, okay, here's me. In that scenario, if somebody would have said, hey, my biggest gripe with the bomb scene is that the ladder that is fixed to the entirety of the ship, when she's kicking the ladder, like, it's just shaking the ladder and not the entirety of the ship. And it's like the controller thing isn't sitting on the top of the ladder, it's sitting on the platform above the ladder, which means that if you look at this you're
picture,
having to shake yeah, you're having to shake the whole bottom half of the ship in order for that to fall down like that. Like, if you said that, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah, that pole in this specific picture, the pole that ladder is connected to is not connected to that little grate. No, not at all.
That's why when she was kicking it, I was kind of like, okay. But see, even with that, like, I thought that was far-fetched, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, it's, you know what, whatever. I will say that the bombers, if I was to make a rebel costume or resistance, whatever you want to say, it'd be the bomber style pilot. Because that mustard yellow, I hate mustard, but that mustard yellow...
What did mustard do to you that you had to say you hate it today?
They just look so... I wish I could get a good picture, but it's so cool. Their costumes are so cool. I would love to make one, but I have a hard time with face characters. I don't want to show my face, blah blah blah. You know.
Just wear a mask. They like. I mean, she clearly in that scene right there. She's got a cord, looks like an oxygen cord to put a mask on. She's just not wearing it in that scene.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you could wear a mask. You could.
So, Mike, you watched the first 2 episodes of the Clone Wars show, and
first 2,
the movie.
First 2, or
The first 2
chronological first 2.
chronologically ordered. You watched the first 2.
So I watched
and then
episode
the movie
216, then episode 116, and then the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And.
Okay, I have questions. Okay. Question number 1. Yeah, question number 1. In the first episode, chronologically, they have this ship that has technology to cloak itself, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think in they use that technology also in the Phantom Menace, right? That was didn't Padme's ship have like some kind of cloaking?
No, they just sped past. They're like,
maybe it's not her ship. I thought there was another ship in one of the movies that had some kind of cloaking thing.
Because Padme's ship got hit, that's why they were on Tatooine.
Okay. Maybe I'm misremembering the ship. I thought there was another ship at some point that used it. Anyway, I think that just furthers my question then. Why was that not used anymore? Like, why did they just use it once? And then throughout episode 116, and then throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, nobody ever said, hey, we need to get people off this planet. Let's load people up on this ship that we can basically turn invisible and cloak and just rescue as many people as we can. And you know what?
Yeah.
Because nobody can detect where it's at, we're going to have them fly out, drop people off on like another planet or in one of the bigger ships, then cloak and fly back in and grab more people and maybe even drop off more troops and supplies. And then all of a sudden, you know, the Trade Federation is going, dang, like these guys went from like we blew up all their vehicles to now not only do they have more vehicles, but they have way more technology and they're just absolutely demolishing us.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure on why they don't. I mean, it makes sense. Like, why would you not?
Like, you have it in just one thing, and then it's like, and it's not even like, yeah. And then Anakin's like,
you have
cloak,
it in the
uncloak,
very beginning.
Cloak, uncloak, cloak,
well,
uncloak.
okay. That's a specific reason, because you've got to use, if you are on the offensive and you've got to use a weapon, you can't be cloaked. If I remember correctly, you couldn't be
I get that part
while you were
because they even
insert.
Yep, and they even brought up the crazy part was, so they use this cloaking ship in the episode, and then they find out like, hey, let's search for other battles that associate with this dude who's trying to find us, and we find out, oh yeah, he had another battle with the cloak ship. Wait a minute, so now it's not just like random technology. Somebody else also had this at one point in time.
I feel like it's not just this ship, but like the Republic's just like, yeah, let's not use this. This is stupid. Like, which it's not. It makes more sense to use those ships.
Yeah. So that would be my question. It's not even really a gripe. It's just more of a question. Like, why? Like, what happened to that technology? I'm 100% certain. There's no way the emperor doesn't say like, hey, let's cloak the Death Star.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he doesn't say that. He knows they have the technology.
I think that Grandpapa Palpy just wanted it to be a station of fear. So I don't think he wanted it cloaked. I think people would be afraid if all of a sudden this giant moon appeared in space outside their planet. Yeah, like nothing's there, and all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, oh, what's that? That's a Death Star. Okay, yeah, so that's number one. Number two, hidden enemy. How did Slick at the time go against his programming? Like, all the others would get orders and stuff like that, and I think you even saw
there was like a couple episodes in the movie, and this is going to jump ahead a little bit, but in the movie when Anakin and Ahsoka were going to try and like hide and get behind enemy lines to, I think they were going to destroy the jammer.
The shield generator.
Shield generator, yeah. When they were doing that, the clone troopers were like, "Oh, where's Anakin? Like, did he abandon us?" and stuff like that. So it's not like they weren't able to question things that didn't make sense to them. But my question is why was he the only clone trooper that not only disobeyed orders but went completely against his programming without the assistance of anybody else? Or was there assistance from somebody else and they just didn't explain that?
Mike, I think
because like Rex,
there's some parts of that question.
Okay, so I just got to watch more. Okay,
you might just have to wait. As for, I mean, maybe he hit his head. Maybe I don't.
I mean, he could have been influenced by what's her name, the Sith lady.
Ventress?
Yeah, Ventress. Yep. Like, I mean, I guess she could have done something, but at that point in time, they didn't explain something. They just said, "Yeah, he's a traitor."
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the clones. Me and you have had multiple conversations the past few days on this since you watched this episode, and I feel like we have. This is probably one of the things that we disagree on the most. I feel like, yes, it's nature versus nurture, but I feel like it's also nature and nurture. Like, obviously, up until a certain point, they all have the same nurturing, okay? They all have the same life until they get to a certain point where, like, okay, this select, let's say you have 300 of them. This 50 is going to marksman school. This one's going to heavy weapons and demolition. Something blah blah blah.
I mean, if they ever show that, like maybe that's something I haven't seen yet. But from the Star Wars that I've seen, like even when you see them first being created, and you got the little test tube things circulating throughout the entire building, and then it shows them as the younglings or whatever you want to call them, and they're all like on the computers doing the same training stuff. Like when you see all this stuff, Yeah. Up until the first time that they finally get deployed to help out the Jedi, they had lived from birth till that moment, all going through the same exact identical everything, right? So till that moment, and even when you look at Order 66, so I guess this goes along with what I'm saying, is how many of the clones went against Order 66 without being like, I think I saw something the other day that said Rex didn't do it on his own. Ahsoka did something where she messed up his programming. That's why he didn't kill her. So he didn't stop and go, "I'm not going to do it." She caused something to happen that got him to be able to go outside of his programming. So the question would be is, like, this dude Slick could go against his programming and not stay with his brotherhood. But all of the ones who have built personal relationships with Jedi said, nobody's going to go against the program, and we're just going to kill all these Jedi that we've come to know and love over the past how long?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's reasons. I mean...
There's reasons.
There's reasons. Like, let's say... Let's look at Revenge of the Sith, okay? We got Commander Neo with the Red Snowtroopers, the Galactic Marines, okay? Our boy Ki-Adi-Mundi is like, "Come on!" And then he's like, "Execute Order 66." They all start blasting him, okay?
Yep.
Neo, in at least Legends, because we don't have a lot of clone we don't have content outside of Rex and Cody a lot, okay? There's like a few exceptions. Like Commander Bly, my favorite clone, is in like 2 episodes of the Clone Wars. Neo is in Legends is like one of the most sadistic and like not passive aggressive. That's not what I mean, but he is like sadistic. He's just not a good person, but he's really effective. Like, he doesn't care how many people he loses as long as he wins, kind of thing. So, I mean, and then you look at Bly. Bly in Legends had a little fling with Ayla Secura, the blue chick. And so all of the 327th Star Corps, I call them the Bly Boys, all the Bly Boys respected Ayla. So when they put her down, they kept full autoing her, just to make sure she's down. That she's not feeling any of it. They're just keep going,
But that's
just
what I'm
so
saying, though. None of them in those scenarios, like, that's going along with what I'm saying. None of them betrayed their programming.
No. I mean, there.
But Slick does.
We might see some, Mike. Okay, we might see some. We might
so maybe
see
I'll have
some
to. I'm gonna leave my note as a question, and then as we go along and I watch more episodes, then maybe I'll readdress that, because that maybe my question on that will change. But right now, after watching just a little bit that I did, that's the question that popped in. I'm like, from the stuff that I've seen, like, nobody else can, but Slick for some reason could, with no explanation. Now maybe the explanation was he was influenced, or something did happen where they were able to subvert his programming. I don't know. Like, maybe that's a possibility. It just wasn't explained in that episode. Like, nothing showed that in that episode. All right, so third thing, after watching the first 2 episodes and then rethinking about the Clone Wars movie, I want to know how Anakin went from not being a whiny little brat in 216 and 116, like almost not at all in either one of those episodes, to all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, we got you a Padawan. And it's like entitled whiny Anakin throughout the entirety of the movie. And I'm like, why did this dude go from barely whining to super whiny in just that brief period of time? That's probably my most annoying thing with the Clone Wars. There's a lot of dumb stuff in it, but that was probably the worst. At one point I'm like, I almost want to mute every time Anakin's talking, and just turn on captions and read what he's saying, because then I can just make the voice up in my head and not have to listen to him.
I think the problem is that movie was done before any of the series was. I mean, the first one chronologically is in season 2. It's the 16th episode of season 2. So I mean, you have so much more time for this voice actor to be like, this is who I'm starting to be as Anakin. And then you have to go back in time to before he was a somewhat battle-hardened general. Right. But they had to have written him that way, because even though you're a voice actor, when you're a voice actor, you still are going to do your lines, and you're still going to have a director or producer say, oh, okay, can you do that again, but maybe do it this way? So there was somebody sitting there that when the voice actor is doing Anakin's voice in the Clone Wars movie, literally said to him, can you be more whiny when you say that line? No, please don't. I think they were just trying to bridge the gap between the Clone Wars movie or show and the Attack of the Clones. I don't like sand, and it just. I don't know why they went backwards with him, but I don't know. I just hope that once you get farther into this series, you're gonna find things that are like, oh my gosh, that is just so, like season 7. There's one arc in season 7 that's a little rough, and that I just skip over every single time, but you gotta watch it.
Okay,
because
for sure.
I think it's the second arc, and Ahsoka's in it, and it just drives me up a wall. It just drives me up a wall. Not because of Ahsoka, but because of this group that she's with, and it's like,
All right, so that's my notes on the Clone Wars stuff that I've seen so far. So, do we have anything else that we're going over today?
Nope. I just want to say I think you're gonna really like the next 2 episodes of at least the next 2 episodes of Clone Wars. I think you're gonna really like those.
Okay.
But
I do want to add in one thing before we close, and you kind of have it at the bottom of this document here. So we'll talk about it. It's going to be really brief. We don't have to get super into it. This movie's Mike mentioned that Andre hasn't seen. So one of the things that Andre and I have decided is that Andre has not seen a lot of movies outside of, let's say, Star Wars. Like yeah, the one he's right now, Back to the Future. I think what we'll do is we can do two things. One, I'll add some movies to this list that I know that you haven't seen, and then maybe what we can do is every once in a while we can take fan comments or people that are watching comments on movies, and if it is a movie that you have not seen, we'll add it to this list if it seems relevant, right? And then we won't do like super long. It won't be a whole episode thing, but maybe every once in a while, like once a month or something like that, we'll do a segment on one of our streams, podcasts, whatever, that we talk about a pop culture movie that is popular in some sense or whatever that Andre hadn't seen before that moment. And so me watching the Clone Wars stuff, trying to catch up to where you're at, your opposite of that is going to be watching some of these movies that
Broadening
don't have anything to do with Star Wars. Yeah. And then we'll talk about that. So just a little fun tidbit for other people, like we can get people involved in and stuff like that. I think that would be kind of cool. Especially if somebody makes a comment on a movie that maybe I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. If you haven't seen that one, add that to the list. That's a great option. I also don't want this list to get out of control. I want them to be like reasonable movies, right? Like I don't want people to be like, oh, you got to watch all 13 Friday the 13th movies. I'm not. No, that's okay. We're gonna do like big name pop culture movies. Like Back to the Future would be a good one. I know years ago we had talked about The Princess Bride, but you have since seen that one. Yes, which is awesome. So what did you think?
I don't remember.
Well, add it back to the list, I guess.
Princess Bride.
Okay, so we'll start with those two and we'll go from there. But yeah, so I think that'll be a cool little segment to do as part of our and beyond portion. So
yes.
Cool.
Okay, I think that's it. If you have any information on Mike's questions that isn't going to be too spoilery, just drop it in the comments. Leave us some comments about what you want to see in the future. Just throw us a like; it would be greatly appreciated. And if you really like us, just hit that subscribe button, and we'd really appreciate that as well. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week.